morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. Episode 46. Here we go on a Monday morning. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Monday morning here in Johannesburg. And I'm really excited about today's topic. Today we're going to talk about that dreaded email inbox. And this was prompted by the discussion yesterday we had in yesterday's episode where Neil asked Kobus, what are you doing? How are you dealing with your emails and et cetera, et cetera. And, I think it came to the fore that everybody is struggling with email, and there's some people who struggle more than others. I'm certainly one of those people where email has gotten the better of me. So let me just do that disclaimer right up front to say that I'm not in control of my inbox. My name is Francois, and I'm not in control of my inbox. But yes, I spent some time yesterday thinking about this and looking at some things. And I actually said, well, I can't talk about this stuff today if I'm not going to implement some of the things that I'm telling you to do or sharing with you ideas that I'm going to share with you if I don't do it myself. So I spent the entire evening last night sorting out my email inbox, there were some things that I already implemented before that has helped me quite a bit. But specifically over the last sort of, let's say, the second half of the show, my email has gotten really busy and there's a lot of things coming in, and there's a lot of things that's coming in that's not really important. So I want to get sort of, I gave up actually until last night. And the bad thing about me giving up was the fact that I wasn't responding timeously to those important emails. Now I've put together a process. I've actually implemented some of the things. I'm going to show you how I do it. It's already working for me. Literally since last night. But I'm going to give you a process of how you can do this over the next month or so and really get back control of your inbox. And then I think I'm going to set out a little challenge for all of us because today when I'm talking, I'm going to be talking to me, and I'm going to be talking about me and what I've experienced, and just from my point of view, what my issues are in terms of emails. And maybe you can relate to those, and we'll see how we go. But yeah, that is sort of it. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Nice to have you with me this morning. Let me see who is with us here on LinkedIn. We've got Higu Blom. Good morning, Higu. Nice to have you here. Chart. Good morning, Slanganani and Mark. Mark, welcome back once again. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I realized that I'm not always getting all the comments. There were comments made yesterday about this whole email thing, etc., which I didn't see. And it's only because somebody alerted me to this discussion. I thought, but I didn't see that discussion. So when I went back, I could actually see the comments, but they don't always, for some reason, show you on my side live. But anyway, so I'm going to say hi to the guys over on YouTube. We've got Burnett. Good morning, Burnett. Kobus Klein, good morning. Slanganani, good morning here as well. Nice to have you. Good morning, Terence. Welcome back. Stephen Nell, Denise, good morning. Denise and Malcolm. We've got Rizan. Rizan, good morning. Rizan, thank you for all your help yesterday. We had a long discussion yesterday afternoon and about this whole email thing and sort of sharing ideas and just, going back and forth about stuff. So Rizan, thank you. You were very instrumental in today's episode. So thank you very much for all your sort of insights and also what you're struggling with and what the challenges are. Because, often I think we look at our own issues and we can't get an answer, but we listen to somebody else's, we come up with answers. And that's what you did for me. By me listening to your challenges, I could say, but maybe we can do this and this and this. And then obviously read up about a lot of things last night and then see how it goes. So thank you very much for that. Renee, good morning. Nice to have you back. Tinas, once again, good morning. Casper, good morning. Elmine Lottering, Raymond Visser, good morning. Marlies, welcome. Bongi, good morning. Johan Vosloo, Johan, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, but we'll chat later this afternoon. Jaco Roots, good morning. Ghaziandi, good morning. Conrad, good morning. Ian McMaster, good morning, Ian. Jock, good morning once again. Khomotso, welcome back. Nice to see you again. Kuketsu, nice to see you again. Higu, good morning, Higu. Thank you for being here. Looking relaxed for a change. Good stuff. Lekker. All right. Great stuff. Guys, please, this is going to be one of those sessions where you really have an opportunity to interact. I'm going to be asking questions as we go through. Please post them, because when you are engaging in the chat and you're posting in the comments, etc., it's not about putting yourself out there or exposing your issues to the world or anything like that. it really gives us a lot of information that we can go back and do better content with, and help you better to get over these things that you may be struggling with. And that was really the main purpose why I started this show, was to help people in not only in this time, but also after this. But the main thing is that, we can put out content and content and content, but if it doesn't directly address the things that you may be struggling with, then it's not as effective as I would like it to be. So please, when I ask questions and stuff today, please, interact with us, and also in the community, talk to one another, ask questions, answer one another. You're more than welcome to do that. Thank you very much for being here. Give us some love, as you know. Like the video, specifically on YouTube. And it sounds like I'm favoring YouTube, but YouTube is harder work to get going. So that's why if you're over on YouTube, please hit the like button. It is on, whether you're on mobile or anything. I know if you're on your TV, it's maybe difficult to do that, but please hit that like button. On LinkedIn, please, react to the video. There's a like button. There's a celebration and a love and a insightful and so forth. So please hit them. And then please remember to subscribe. We've been growing a little bit slower this week, or since the end of last week. So we're on 336, I think, subscribers, and I'm thankful for every single one of you. But please, if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so that you can receive the notifications. When you click on the subscribe button, you can click on notifications. If you're over on LinkedIn and you prefer LinkedIn, then please connect with me. It'll be great to get to know you better. All right, so let me just see quickly if there's anything else. Just maybe also, let me switch this off. Too many buttons this morning. Just another reminder about the business assurance. We've really had a good response to this. We are currently on 26 people that are attending. Thank you very much for every single one of you. In the first refresher, we had 30 people. So that was my goal for this one as well, to get to 30. But now I'm in that mode, because last time we had so many registrations on that last day. So this is taking place on Wednesday. So there's 2 more days. If you want to, 350 Rand. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of business assurance, but we only focus on what is important. We're not going to stretch it out and make it too long and do things like that. It's going to be focused 3 hours, and it's going to be extremely valuable. And we'll also offer CPD. As soon as I have the approval, I will let you know, but it will definitely give you CPD. So just one last time, if you could consider, joining us, that'll be great. Help me break that 30. It'll be fantastic from that point of view. Then also, we've had quite a number of people that have now purchased the Delivering a Great Virtual Client Experience webinar that we did. Thank you very much for that. We've been getting great feedback on that. But I'll talk more about that again tomorrow and share with you some of the feedback that we've been getting. All right, cool beans. So today I've got quite a lot to talk about. So I can't go on and on just saying hi and talking about all the good stuff that's happening. Quickly, the guests that are on this week, the rest of the week I've got guests. So that's amazing. It's a week just filled with other people coming to talk on the show and sharing some interesting and really valuable stuff with you. So tomorrow is financial management. We're going to talk to Johan Vosloo and Martha Kukumer from ComSpace. And then on Wednesday, we've got the data series. So we're finalizing that today. Then on Thursday, I've got Louis van der Merwe. We're going to talk about financial coaching and technology and all sorts of stuff that sort of plays into that. So I'll give you more of an idea of exactly what we're going to talk about tomorrow. And then on Friday, we've got a huge guest in my mind. It's an international guest. So probably what we're going to do, we still just need to confirm whether Friday is right. It seems like it is, but I need to finally confirm today. Really, really excited about this, and really privileged to be able to do this. Probably what we're going to do is do it in the afternoon, because right now it's 1 o'clock where this person is in the morning, not in the afternoon. So I can't do that to them. We'll probably do Friday's show in the afternoon, but I will let you know in time. So if we finalize everything today, I will definitely let you know tomorrow, because that is something that you also don't want to miss. So this entire week is a day that you don't want to miss. So even if you can't join live because you're running or jogging or cycling or whatever you're doing, that's very cool. But come back and watch the recording at 9 o'clock when you get back. Come and watch the recording, because it will be so worth it. All right, cool. So that was a long story, but thank you very much for being here. I can see there's obviously a lot of interest in email inboxes, and good morning, Neil. Neil Stradom. And when I posted this on LinkedIn to say we're going to talk about this, all I said was, like, if you've got control over your email inbox, then this is not the session for you. Because I literally know that nobody probably, or very few people, have got control over the inboxes. So, yeah, it was a bit of a catchy sort of way. Let me see quickly. Jane, good morning. Herman, Heymant. So I've got Herman and Heymant. Good morning to the both of you. Peter Stradom, Chad, did I say good morning to you? Chad van der Walt, Chureta, good morning. Wessel, good morning. Wessel Westhuizen. And Kevin Hinton, good morning, Kevin. Alrighty, cool stuff. Really, really excited. Let's get the show on the road. On the road. Okay, let me just switch off everything that is moving here on the screen so I can focus. All right, so obviously, I get the very, very first question to ask is really, what happened? Like, why did I lose control over my inbox? And I've been thinking about this quite a bit yesterday. And I'm just thinking, like, there's two major things that I think have caused us to lose control over our inbox. And there's a number of other things that I could add to this, but there's two main ones, okay? So the first one is the fear of missing out, FOMO, that you need all the information because somewhere it's like somebody that keeps on watching YouTube videos in the hope that they're going to pick up that one thing that's going to change their lives. You hope that you're going to get that one email that's going to change your life. You hope that you're going to have that one offer, that one special, that piece of information that maybe will keep you out of trouble or maybe will open a door for you. So you've subscribed to everything that you can just possibly, that sounded exciting at the time. And also probably you did it at a time when you didn't have more time to read these things. But as you got more busy, it's gotten harder to actually do that. So definitely the fear of missing out is a huge reason for that. The second one is compliance. So obviously I had to throw compliance in there because we've been led to believe that, Fransha, you need to keep every single email because unless you do that, the day the pawpaw hits the fan, there's going to be trouble. So what happens is you're not deleting any emails, you're not moving any emails, there's just like emails keep on coming in, and you're just keeping everything because nobody's going to ask you for an email of 10 years ago and you're not going to be able to produce that. So those are, I think, two of the main ones. And then something that I've been telling myself quite a bit is that I'm not an admin person. Have you done that? Have you thought like it's a total stuff up because I'm just not an admin person. So therefore if you look at my inbox on my desk, it looks the same. If you look at whatever I'm using, it looks the same. I'm not an admin person, and that's it. And then something I can add, which I didn't have on the list, but definitely from my point of view is that I think it's gotten so easy to send emails instead of picking up the phone, and that's why it's become such an issue. I see that there were some companies that have banned the use of email completely. They said it's just a waste of time. And if you really think about it, I mean, email is a huge, huge waste of time if you don't have control over it because you're going to be reading the same message multiple times. I mean, just think about that, okay? So there's this whole notion about like whenever you get an email, you need to act on it once. Don't go back to it. And that's something that I've been doing. So you flag it, you mark it, you put it in your to-do list, I need to come back to it. I need to come back to it. And then that list starts growing. So now you've got this massive email inbox and you've got this freaking to-do list and you go like, I can't win. Okay. Do you feel like that? Does that sound familiar at all? I certainly, that's sort of my life that I can share with you. And I think what I realized yesterday, and especially speaking to Razan about this and speaking to my wife a little bit about it, and then I've spoken to a couple of other people as well, it's really just the way that we approach this and the way that we view email. It is a tool. And like any other tool, you can misuse it. You can abuse it, or it can control and abuse you. The other day I shared with you, it was Terence that shared on Twitter this notion about that your email inbox is a to-do list created by others because people, they don't think twice. They just send emails. So they're just piling on in your inbox. And then suddenly, you've got all these things to do, but you didn't plan to do those things. Those things aren't even important maybe in your life. Yeah, so I sort of yesterday realized that I needed to change my mindset. I need a new mindset when it comes to my email, how I view email, whether it is important or not. And I'm talking about email as the tool. Then when I look at all the different things that I can do and the kind of messages that I received, I needed to there's a few things that I needed to decide yesterday. And it sounds easy. It's like, oh, I made the decision, so let's move on. It's probably going to be harder, but at least I know why I'm doing it. And if you know why you're doing it, then it's so much easier to just stick to your decision. And, just think about this. So if all the emails that's currently sitting in your inbox, if those were all snail mail, normal post, envelope, something inside, some of them have got a little window, that kind of stuff, What if all of those messages were normal snail mail? I mean, go back. What did you do when you received snail mail? I mean, if you had a post box at the post office or even at Postnet or something like that, when you go there, I mean, before you get back to the car, you've already thrown away half of that stuff. Why don't we do that with email? Why do we hang on to each and every single email just in case? When we know we're not interested, when we know we don't want this. And in fact, you've got more control almost over what email you do receive versus if it was, people putting stuff in your post box. But that's definitely a big question. The other mindset thing is that I don't need to keep everything. It is not necessary. I'm keeping even people accepting appointments, although it's in my calendar. I keep thank you responses. I keep anything like that. People would, there were some emails this morning that I deleted where people were saying, oh yeah, looking forward to a meeting and doing this and do. Why do I keep those things? I don't need to keep them. So that is the second thing. The next thing is I don't need to know everything. That's also a big problem. If you are the advisor in your practice, you probably having your assistant CC you on every single email that's going out to clients and every single email and whatever they respond, because you need to know what is going on. Do you really need to? Why do you have staff? Why do we have staff if I need to know everything that's going on? If you're a one-man business, like you, the advisor, the assistant and everything, then obviously all emails are going to come to you. You've got a bit of a bigger problem. And I'll talk just roughly about some solutions for that. But from that point of view, how are we, why do we need to know everything that's going on? We can trust the people that we work with. And I can tell you this, if we put the trust in them and say, you know what, you are now solely responsible for all of this. You don't even need to tell them. And if something goes wrong, there will be trouble. You don't even need to do that, because you give somebody that kind of responsibility, they will know that there's going to be consequences if they don't deliver on that. So that is a huge thing. So one of the things that you need to go and look at, and I'll talk about that, is really look at it from your role point of view. Okay. What are you really responsible for? And if I say you need to look at what role are you fulfilling in the business where you are. So if you're the advisor, what are your sole responsibilities? What are the things that you are really responsible for? And which emails are then important for that? And then if you are the assistant, what are you responsible for? And which emails, what kind of emails are important for that? Because everything else really doesn't matter. And why do you have a team? If you're going to be doing everything yourself and you want to take, keep control over everything, I promise you're going to be able to do it for a certain amount of time. And then you're going to get to a point where you just simply can't do that anymore, because you run out of time, you run out of energy, you need to see clients. And that's when you start seeing where you're spending more time on admin than you do on clients. I was looking at a research thing on Saturday where they were showing that advisors in America were only spending 8% of their time with clients, even though the planning activity is like almost a third of what they do. Only a third of the third is basically time with the client. I mean, that's why people are struggling. That's why we're battling to move forward in our businesses, because all the other stuff is necessary, but it is not income generating. It doesn't generate any income. It's necessary for the business to work, but your assistant can do that. Or if you don't have an assistant, you should really consider getting one. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult, and people are afraid to take that next step. But if you really want to move forward, it's sort of the chicken and the egg. What do you do first? Do you first get the business and then appoint the person, or do you appoint the person and work your butt off to make sure that you can pay them at the end of the month, from that point of view? So it's hard. I don't know. I'm just asking questions. So what are you responsible for, and what is really, really important from that point of view? All righty. Good morning, Wynand. I see Wynand has joined us. Good morning, Wynand. Let me see quickly. Good morning, Frans Hatting. See you joined us as well. Thank you very much. All right. So then the next thing here is really, I mean, if you just think about, I don't know, in my mind, I'm just looking at the stuff where if somebody does have control over their inbox, I think there's one reason for it. It's not that they're an admin person. It is not that they don't work with their email. It's nothing like that. I think the simple reason why people do have control, and the very small amount of people that do have control over their inbox, is that they have a process. And I think some businesses are better at creating these kind of processes and helping their employees to actually, employ these processes and stick to them. But if we're in our own businesses, that's maybe the last process that we think of. We don't think about an email process. Wow, what would that look like? But I think that is the thing. So sort of where do we start? And I'm going to show some of the stuff to you as well about what I've done. And I've always had folders. But my problem is that I had folders. I had many, many folders. All right. And so, yeah, you have a folder for each and every single thing because you don't want to type in search. Have you seen that your email has got a search functionality? So, but no, we want to put it in that folder because at least if I can't find it in search, I know it should be in that folder if you moved it there. All right. So these are the kind of things that I'm just laughing at myself now thinking, like the things that I've done in the past is so like I'm my own worst enemy. And yeah, so what I would suggest is that you create a folder structure first. And there's sort of a way to do this because you don't want a folder structure like I had. So what I did yesterday is I went and I sat down and I said to myself, okay, so first of all, what are the different types of emails that I'm getting? It's easy to sort of classify or categorize them if you want to. So the first one is obviously it's an action item, an action email or an instruction email, or it's something that you need to take action on. And if I say you can start with a business. So the business or the practice needs to take action on that email. So it is an important email. In other words, it's from a client, it's somebody requesting a quote, or somebody wants an appointment, or somebody's querying something, or somebody's saying, listen, we want to go ahead with whatever we want to do, or letting you know about something that has changed. But those are emails that needs attention and they need to be acted upon. So those are the first ones. Obviously, those are the emails that we don't want to miss. Then there's the other stuff. So we receive alerts. Okay, so like I get emails from my websites, etc. When somebody tries to log in or somebody failed to log in, or when I log in, I get an alert to let me know about those things. Sometimes if something is down, it doesn't work, I get alerts. So those are alerts. It's important stuff you need to know about, but it's like it's a notification, but it's more important than just a notification. So the next thing you do get then is also notifications. So something that will let you know, listen, this case has issued. This, and maybe you will say, listen, there's underwriting requirements that were called, for example, or something is due. For example, if you like, let's say your annual return for your company, you usually get an email to say that, listen, the return is due. So that's more maybe of an alert, or you could even classify that as an action item because it needs to be done. So you need to classify these different things. And once you've done that for what that means for you, because I don't think there's a set thing like this is what it is. What I've done is I've got the action items, I've got the alerts, I've got the notifications, then I've got my subscriptions, which is basically newsletters. And then I would say there are always emails of a personal nature. So those are the kind of things that you can say, well, let me build a folder structure around that. All right, so let me show you quickly just what I have done. So let me see that. All right. So this is now, I use Outlook. Okay, so most of the things I'm going to share with you comes from Outlook. I'm definitely not a Google specialist, but I'm pretty sure that if you can do this in Outlook, there will be some form of an equivalent in Google that you can use as well. So here you can see my folders here on the left-hand side and how I've done it now. Sorry, I can't make this a lot bigger. So I can do this. It's a little bit bigger. And let me just switch this one off. So here what I've done is I've now created a folder that says do urgent. Okay. That means that it needs to be done urgently, or it needs to be done today, or it needs to be done immediately. So any emails that comes into my normal inbox. So here at the top is my normal inbox. And you can see it's still on 262. But you can see the total items in this is 21,000. So we'll talk about that in a second. Or how am I going to approach that? But anyway, so you've got your do urgent, which is things that must be done today, immediately. It's urgent, it's a crisis, whatever. Those go then to your do urgent folder. Because what you're trying to do is to keep your inbox clean. You don't want anything in your inbox. So the first thing that you'll need to do is once things come into your inbox, it needs to be sort of directed to a specific type of folder and where it makes sense. And you know that I only focus on my do urgent because my do urgents are my todays. It's the things that must be done today. It's something that needs action today. And it may mean that, listen, you can just forward it to somebody to do it for you. You can delegate. You don't have to do it yourself. But be that as it may, so action needs to be taken today and feedback needs to be given today. The next one is due soon. So this for me means this week or in the next week. That's due soon. Once I've completed any of these due urgents or due soons, because I would like to keep these things that needed action together, I can move them to completed. So now they move out of my due urgent and out of my due soon to completed. And I'm guessing that you're sitting there and thinking like, Francois, but yeah, this sounds like a lot of work. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks how you can do that seamlessly and so easily that it's actually laughable. Then I've created some other folders because I think, like, you know, if you think that it may be helpful to you to have very specific folders for things that is really important, you don't want to get everything mixed up just in a filed folder, for example, or in a general folder. Then, like, I created the meetings and committees. One, because I serve on some committees and there's some fixed meetings and things that we prepare for and masterminds and things that I'm part of that I just want everything there so that at least I don't have to go and look through everything. Everything is there. It'll be easy to find. Then all my bookings, if I open this, for example, you will see here that we've got the all the different bookings. So I'll just create a subfolder within that for each one of the refreshers or courses or whatever it is that we are running. So that'll be then under bookings, and I'll just move it there as they come in. And then filed is basically my general folder. That is where everything else goes that isn't really important. Now, this is all my old folder structures. Let me just see if I can open this for you. So there's just a lot of folders underneath there. This was my old folder structure. You can see that it's absolutely ridiculous. So I've just put it there, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do in a second. Then all things related to my accounting, not my accounting practice, but my accounting. So all the invoices we issue, invoices we receive, anything like that, that's bank statements, etc., they go into this folder. And then, and even there, I've got subfolders just to have it a little bit more organized. And then we've got notifications. So notifications, what I've done here, these are just the important things. It's just notifications that I'm receiving. So my hosting company, anything I get from FNB for my business bank account, and then WordFence and WordPress for my websites, they go there. And then I've got a folder for promotions. And under promotions, what I've done is I've really just mixed them up and saying, well, there are newsletters that are important, but you don't necessarily want to put them into your urgent do or your do urgent or do soon. So I just want to, at least if I come to my promotions tab, I want to see, well, all my important newsletters are sitting under important. And then, you know, info is just normal stuff that I'm getting that it doesn't really matter. And then newsletters, because you get a lot of information, things like MoneyWeb and things like that. If you subscribe to that, that can just go there. If you've really got newsletters that you want to separate that, but these two could be one folder as well. And then I also get some stuff from Udemy. I've done a course there, so sometimes there's updates, and it just goes there. I could actually also just include this into info. But these are my folders. So I've gone from 1 million folders to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. And I'm going to show you as well a little bit later on exactly how I am managing this and how I am making it, easy for myself. Let me just go. There we go. All right. So, but that's sort of the folder structure that you can create, and you can look at that and see what's going to work for you. But what I've done as the basis is to say, well, what are the different types of emails I'm getting? And then how do they relate? Which ones need action? Which one is urgent? Which one do I really need to work on as and when they come in? And which other ones can I say, well, once a week, I'm going to go into my promotions folder, or once a week, I'm going to look at my notifications or whatever. So that you can have a look at. And I'll show you how I keep those things from coming into my inbox in the first place, that they go straight to some of the other folders. All right, so let's see quickly. Good morning, Arun. Higu is saying soon, name it entity, not today, tomorrow. Yeah, not today, tomorrow. That's cool. But some of the things are not that urgent even that it needs to be done tomorrow. Yeah, because it may, I don't know. I'll think about that a little bit, how I will approach that. But that's also a good idea. Use a different email for newsletters. Yes, you can do that. The one problem that I've found, and that even people dealing with me, is like I've got like 3 or 4 email addresses, and it becomes an issue from that point of view. So even over time, we started consolidating, and I'm only using one email. But having a separate email for your newsletters only can be a very good idea, so that everything goes to that email address and it's all sorted according to that. So that is also a great idea. Thank you, Higu. Yes, a different email address. Okay, cool stuff. So then on to the next one. So once you've created your folder structure, let me just see quickly if we've got anything on here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so you're talking about CRMs and stuff. I'll get back to that. All right. So once I've done this, then the next thing that I did, and this is a functionality in Outlook, is something called quick steps. And I've always seen it. You know, if I can go back to this, let me just go into my inbox and to home here. You'll see this big button here at the top that says quick steps. So quick steps, I've created a number of them, but they've always been there because Outlook comes out with some standard set of quick steps. And what quick steps is, it's a form of automation, and it is brilliant. Since I started using this, you know how much time it saved me? Because the one thing that has really irritated me and that I've really been like, it's a mission, is if you want to drag, for instance, if you want to move a message, you either got to drag it to the folder, and now if the folder was a long list of folders, I needed to scroll down, and not all the folders are in the same place. So it's a clicking and dragging and scrolling all the time. It takes you freaking a minute almost to move one message. So what I then, when I started using quick steps, it was just, wow, it's amazing. So what quick steps does is you can create a series of steps. Like when you press a button or you click that option, it does a whole series of things. It's absolutely amazing. It has changed my life. So I've been using this for quite a while. So here you can see I've set up a do urgent, okay, and I've set up a do soon, a completed, a meetings and that, a filed, and then I've even got a permanently delete option, because it's really irritating if you delete a message and then you got to go back to your deleted items and delete it again. So if you're pretty sure you want to delete this permanently, just use that so that it deletes it permanently the first time around. Then the show interviews, if I want to move things that are related to the interviews to that folder, I've got that. Then I've got promotions, if I want to move something to promotions, because I'm going to show you like sort of my process for after this. After you've created all of this, what do we do then? How do we then take back control of our inboxes? And then I've got to move to a specified folder if I don't know where I want to move it, if there's no clear action about what I want to do. So I'm just quickly going to show you, just as a matter of interest. So let's just say that this email from Anton, for example, if we want to do that, and this is something that I need to act on, what I can do, and watch this, keep an eye here on the do urgent folder there. I'm going to move it and say, this is something that I must act on today. So what I'm going to do is, I've created a quick step. I'm going to press Control Shift and 1, and watch this. Boom, it's gone. But what happened to do urgent? It said 6. It went up. So now, and remember that email was already read in my inbox. It already shows as read. And now what it is done, okay, it has put the stuff here, and there you can see it's put Anton here into my inbox. And I can also sort my inboxes in different ways, but there's not enough time today to get into that. But there it is. It is unread. It has been marked as urgent. So it's got this important thing there. It's been flagged as well. So there's 4 things that happened. It moved it to the folder. It made it unread. It tagged it as important or urgent. And it has also flagged it for today. So there's a specific date, and all of that with Control Shift and 1, because that's the way that I set it up. What I also could have done, let me go back to here. And let's just say, I don't know if there's anything at the moment. There's a lot of other stuff. So cool beans. So this is something that I wanted to sort out. Okay, so this is something that I'll take action on soon. So what I can do is I can select this message. Okay, I can go to quick steps and I can just click on do soon. it'll do exactly the same thing. So the do soon is set up in the same way. The only difference is that it moves it to the do soon folder for me. So you can see how quickly it is. And I've managed to go through emails like that because it's so easy if you do that. And that's also what these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8 and those things behind the folders names are. It's to remind myself very quickly. It is Control Shift. I know it's always Control Shift. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will move it to that folder. Okay. So the other one that I've set up. So let's say, for example, this membership update from the FBI. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. I don't want to do any of these at the moment, but let's just say, so this one, for example, this is actually something that I don't know where it comes from. I can't remember that I subscribed to this. So this is something that I can just go and delete immediately. If I wanted to move this somewhere else, I could go with my option 7, and then I can choose the folder where I want to move it if I want to move it to a very specific folder. So that is quite amazing to be able to do that. But what I do want to do with this is, like, as these things come, but I'll get to that. So let me leave it for this. I'm running ahead with all the things I want to share with you. But quick steps is going to go so far in just, making things so much quicker for you. And I think the big benefit about this is that I still have control, because I can't just go and set up rules, because the moment I set up rules, that rule is going to run regardless, and I don't have a say over when something comes in. So I'll get to rules now in a second. But quick steps does, and I still say it's semi-automates, because I still need to trigger it, and I still need to trigger which one I want to happen. But that's awesome, because it's great, because I can't just say move all of the FBI emails to my notifications. No, because sometimes there are important things, and also the FBI is sending me things with regards to the committees. The FBI is sending me, and it's not always possible that there is always a unique link. So what I would want to do is, let's say, for the FBI emails to still come to my inbox, but then I very quickly want to decide where they need to go. Is it something I need to act on? Is it something that I need? Think about membership. So if all your membership notifications come, we've got this benefit and that benefit and that benefit, and that you can move to your notifications or your newsletters and look at that once a week. But what if they say you need to renew your membership and you're overdue with renewing your membership, and that's something you actually should have seen? Then, so you can't automate every single email. All right. Cool stuff. So this is it. From that point. So let me just come back onto the screen. All righty. So that for me is the beauty about creating quick steps. So go do that. I'm not sure what the Google equivalent is, and if there is one, but go look for it, because it's really awesome if you do that. Once I've created my quick steps to say, well, these are the things that I would normally be able to do. So I want to move things to my do urgent, my do soon, my completed, all the things that you'll be repetitively doing, but you need control over which ones you move where. That is, and also if you need to move them through the process, because remember, it goes from your inbox to your urgent to your completed. So there's a process. So you can't just create a rule for that. You need quick steps for that. So that's awesome. But then my next step then would be, create rules to direct certain emails automatically, because there are going to be a lot of emails that's coming in that you want to keep, okay, and that you want to know about. So for those things, you can create rules. So let me show you here. If I go back to the screen, if I go here to move on my, and I've got the latest Office 365, or it's now called Microsoft 365, but it's the latest. It's the virtual, it's the 365 range. So you'll go to move and you'll go to rules. Okay. And here I can create a rule or do anything. And I'll show you from a message how quickly you can, in fact, do that. So if I want my rules, so these are all the rules. So there you can see. So there's certain things that I know they'd never have to come into my inbox, or they'd never have to go to do urgent, because they're just informational in nature. So whenever something is literally informational in nature, you can set up a rule. Like Pat Flynn, I've told you about Pat Flynn way in the beginning when we started. He has this website and online business called Smart Passive Income. It's so much more than just, it's not about passive income. Actually, it's about really building proper businesses. But what is there is sending all these emails once a week. And it's important stuff that I want to see, because I love his way of doing it. So it's things that I'm really interested in, like really. It's not something that I thought was going to be interesting, and now let me subscribe. No, it took me a long time to subscribe to this email. So I know it's something that I want to know about. So with Pat, for example, it'll move it to my important newsletters folder. Because remember, we said here at the bottom we had promotions, but under promotions I had important newsletters and I had newsletters. So the general stuff that I want, so I need to make a decision. Is this an important newsletter? Is it a newsletter that I do want, but I'll look at it whenever I have time? Or do I really need this newsletter? Because if you don't, then what you want to do before you create a rule is to actually unsubscribe from that email. And I know you're going to tell me like, Francois, but you know how many times I'll subscribe and then a week later I start getting those emails again? It's one of those things. There is a tool that you can use actually to bulk unenroll from these things. I don't like it because they use your information for other stuff. They clearly tell you that. They say that you can opt out and all of that. So it's called unroll.me. So you can go check it out. It's a free tool, but it's free for a reason because they want your information. They use that information in some other business that they've got. So you need to opt out of them selling your information. So it's a great tool, but it comes at a cost. So I'm not going to use that. But you can go check that out if you feel like, well, let me just unsubscribe from all these things in bulk instead of one by one. But I am going to give you a process at the end that you can sort of follow to also unsubscribe. This is going to take you a little bit longer, but it won't be as frustrating as sitting there and unsubscribing from them one by one. Okay, but anyway, so these are the rules. So what will happen is whenever an email comes in from Pat, it will automatically, and it's obviously a pity that I can't receive an email from him right now, but it will automatically put it into the important newsletter and it will be unread. So I'll be able to see here on the side that there's a new unread email that came in. So that is it. I can have things to go to info. I can have them go to newsletters, but those are the kind of things that you want to use your rules for. So things that it works very well for is newsletters, as I said. So how do you make the distinction between what is important and what is just, interesting? I think you should consider who's sending those emails. If you're really connected with that person and there's a much bigger reason why you are receiving these emails from them, then you want to put that into your important newsletters. If it is just some random dude that you signed up to because it looked interesting, do you still need it? Unsubscribe. If you feel you still need it, let it go to the normal newsletter one automatically. So that's important. Your alerts and notifications, you can set up rules for that because they always come from the same email address. You can move it to that to a proper, like I've got a notifications folder there. So you can move it there automatically because it comes from a very distinct email, or it's sometimes got a very distinct wording in the subject. The subject always starts the same. So in that case, it's easy to say, well, if this is in the subject, move it to that folder, for example. So you can create these rules. So let me create a rule quickly so that you can see what it is that I am talking about. So this is Louis van der Merwe, who's going to be on the show. This is his new newsletter. It's the first one that came out today. I signed up for that, so you can really go check it out. He's going to be talking about very interesting things that he finds insightful and inspiring and so forth, but particularly around financial planning and coaching and technology and those kind of things. And that's why I signed up, because I'm very interested in those things, because it's important for me to stay up to date. And Louis is really doing a lot of stuff, and that's why I've also asked him to come on the show, is to really come and talk about it. But in this case, so I can go, let me just download the picture so that you can see, there it is. But now I can say, okay, so this is in my inbox. So now I can say, okay, my inbox, I can now, when this particular email from Louis comes in, okay, then I want to move it there. Now, what's nice here, what Louis did is he used a very specific email, hello@louisvandermerwe.co.za. He's not using his business email address for this. So that makes it for me easy to say, this is the unique identifier. I'm not going to get other emails from Louis on that email. So I can just right click on it, and then I can go to rules, and I can say, well, there's already always move messages from hello. So it'll do that. Always move this, or I can create a rule from scratch if I wanted to. So I'm gonna do the create a rule from scratch so that you can see that exactly how that looks. All right. Just waiting for old Outlook. Never takes this long, only when you're live. So let's see. Let me take a sip of my cold tea. Okay, I'm not going to wait for that. Let's see if it does come on. I'll come back to that. It's not supposed to live shows. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it on here. So when it does come up, I will show you how to create that rule. But basically, all you're doing is that you say what is the action. So you want to move it to a folder, and then you will say the criteria for that. So it's all emails coming from hello@louisvandermerwe.co.za. So in future, whenever that email comes in, it will automatically and immediately be moved to the folder that I specify. In my case, my important newsletters, because that's something that I want to look at. So whenever I have time to go look at the newsletters, I can say I'm going to do it once a week, and then I can just go to that folder and focus on that folder. And it's only the important stuff. All the riff-raff, fluff, sales, specials, whatever goes into another folder. So you've got to be very clear on the people who you find the information is important to you, and let them go to one folder and all the other stuff to another folder. And if you don't need to be subscribed, then go and unsubscribe, because you can reduce the amount of newsletters and things that you are receiving in that sense. All right. Let me see quickly. Yeah, Google sorted, or Boomerang. Yes, Boomerang is also a good one, because Boomerang allows you to sort of, I don't know, snooze an email kind of thing, and then it will put it back into your inbox when you specified it should come back, and it does a whole host of other things. So they also really work well. Thanks for that, Ihu. That's a great option there. All right. So once you've created these rules, what you can also do is that you can run them. So when you created them once, it'll just move the specific message usually, or you can specify that it should run the rule, and then it will just go through your entire inbox and move everything that has come from that specific email address, or that's got those specific wordings in your subject already to the folder. So in that way, you can start to clean, to clean up your inbox, because you can already run the rules so that it moves everything out and to that folder. So then, all the messy stuff in your inbox is then already being cleared. So that's important. So sorry, I wanted to show you that, but for some reason I am hanging here in terms of old Outlook, and I swear it's never happened, but it does happen on a live show. Okay. Anyway, so those are sort of my things. So create a folder structure. Okay. And I'm not done. If you thought I was done, I'm not done. So it's create a folder structure. First of all, understand your role. Let's just start there. Understand your role. Understand what is important for you to do what it is that you need to do. Then you go and create folder structures based on the different types of emails that you're getting, and where you need to take action and things, and however you want to manage that process. So you build that process around that. The folder structure should sort of be the starting point of your process to say, well, these are the things, and then how we will move them in there is then through quick steps. So you can use quick steps where you have control, but it is automated. So it's the best of both worlds. And then secondly, you will have you can then do rules for everything else that you don't need control over, and that can just automatically be moved so that they don't even clog up your inbox. So those are sort of the 3 or 4 steps that I would say this is where you need to start right now. There's a whole host of things that I can share with you that you need to do going forward, but I think let's just get back control, and this is the one way, or these are sort of the process to actually do that. But then once you've done this, then you've got to decide on a reset date. Okay, because I can promise you saw in my email. Okay, I see my email is now back up, but it's not showing the reminders, the rules. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So you need to decide. So if you've got, like me, 21,966, or call it 22,000 emails that are in your inbox, okay? I mean, like, seriously, if somebody was going to query about something, it would have happened by now. It usually, and there's things in there from 2016 when I started using this email. I've still got them all. So it's staying there. I don't know why, but it's there. Nobody's ever queried it. There's no real thing. So what you could do is definitely not go and delete this, because remember now, you didn't have a structure, you didn't have folders, you didn't have a process, you didn't decide which ones get deleted and which ones not. So you definitely don't want to go back and say, well, now from this date backwards, I'm going to delete everything. But what you could do is to decide, let's just say that the date is 31 December, and that's what I'm going to do. 31 December, that's the date. Every email that I received before then, and every email I sent before then, I'm going to archive. So I'm going to put it into an archive folder, and that can mean two things. You can use the archive function of your email, or you can just create a archive folder or call it whatever, old emails, and just move everything there, one shot, and then make them all unread. Okay, because then at least they're out of your inbox, and then you can take the process that I'm going to share with you to sort of start working on the things that you received in 2020 so that you can get control, because there's a process that you want to do. Look, I mean, you can go and say that date for you is the 1st of April. So anything before the 1st of April this year, let's just archive it. I don't think it's important. Or before March or before Feb. You can choose what that date is. But just move all that emails out, because if somebody does query you, you can still go and find it. So you have that little bit of that peace of mind so that you don't miss out, or that you don't step into a compliance mess. So you can do that. But then I sort of want to share with you the process going forward of what you can do to do that. So Johan Forster, superhuman is invite only. Let me know if you need one. Yeah, you must tell us, but we can talk about that tomorrow, Johan. Remind me that we talk about superhuman. Michu says, boomerang on receipt, send holding email reply. Hi, saw email will revert tonight, then set the sent email to come back as inbox email as reminder to use 9 p.m. It's after family matters dealt with. Yeah, that's amazing, Michu. So you see how powerful that is. So here's the thing, because that's often a thing about responding, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not even getting into the nuances of just letting somebody know that you did receive the email, and how do you go through that? We're almost out of time, so I won't have time today for that. But this is a brilliant tool that you can use for that. So I think it's a very powerful. It's definitely something you can go check out. I think there's Boomerang for Google and Boomerang for Outlook, so you can go check them out. Just Google Boomerang email, and it will definitely come up. I also had a look at that the other day. Alrighty, let's quickly run on over here before I get into the process. Cool. Let me just see. Okay. Good stuff. Okay, some nice conversations going on LinkedIn as well, so you can go check that out. All right, so then what is the next thing? What is the process going to be? And I sort of called this, well, so now we've sort of set ourselves up to take back control, but we haven't taken back control at all. Okay, this is just setting ourselves up so that we are able to take that next step. So I call this like, okay, now to infinity and beyond. If you watch Toy Story, that's obviously where that comes from. And my challenge to you and myself is that let's take the next 30 days to take back control. And I know there's some people, especially the perfectionists. Okay, so we've got these two. The perfectionist is going to sit down and do everything today and tomorrow. And then the procrastinators is going to wait until the 30th day to start doing anything. But here's the idea. It's like anything else. If we can break this down and just do a little bit every single day, and I've spoken about this so many times, if you can do a little bit every single day in a month, I promise you, if you're not done with your inbox, you're going to be very close to being done with your inbox. But you have to do that reset date. You've got to decide what that is for you. And do that, okay? And then what you can do is, so what I would have sort of say is that, why do I want to take the next 30 days? Because I've set up my rules, I've set up my quick steps and all of that. Well, one, we need to get into the habit of using those things, because it's fine to set it up, but you need to start using that. And also what you'll do is, my whole idea about this is that as the new newsletters come in, I must decide, do I delete it? Well, do I first unsubscribe? Do I delete it? Do I create a rule for it to go to my newsletters? Do I create a rule for it to go to my important newsletters? Because now, instead of going back and going through all your emails, you'll just deal with them as they come in. It's much easier to do it that way. And then also, to sort of understand, which rules should I amend? The rules that I've created initially when I started with this, maybe there was, it shouldn't do this, it should rather do that. So you can go and change it. And the same with your quick steps. You can see which quick steps you're using the most, which ones are maybe missing. Is there an opportunity for for you to create a quick step for that particular one? And it's very, very easy to do. It's literally they just say, well, if you click this, what must happen? The first thing, move it to a folder. Then you can add more and more steps to it. So that's what I did. It says, move it to this folder, mark it as unread, mark it as important, and flag it with a due date of today. That's what happens. So, and it's just clicks. You don't have to type in anything. It's just clicks. Just remember to give it a name at the top so that you know which one is which. But this is extremely powerful. I can promise you, it's been working very, very well for me. I've been doing this for quite a while. And yeah, as I said, delete the things that should be deleted as they come in. Start doing that, because previously we kept everything. And yeah, and unsubscribe. I think those are the important things. And then what we're really trying to do is to stick to the process. Because what is it that we want to do? Let me bring up the screen again. So what I want is for this inbox. So if I'm here on my main inbox, here at the top, okay, so if I go there, so which is the same inbox I'm in now, this is my top level inbox. This is where emails actually come into. So I want this to be clean every single day. And then what I want to do is my do urgent should also be clean every day before I end the day. And then the do soon may have some things in it. And then obviously everything that's already been dealt with should go to completed. And then the rest of the stuff are informational in nature. So this is really I think going to help us a lot to take back control of our inboxes and really start doing it. So I'm really looking forward to your feedback on this. How did you find the session today, but also your progress. I'm going to check in with you every week in the show. I will ask, how's it going, and let's see. But and I'll give you some feedback on, and I'll show you what my inbox looks like so that you can see that I'm not ek steek nie lei weg nie. So yeah, let's see. But good stuff. So from that point of view, let me just have a quick look here over on LinkedIn. Boom, boom, boom. Cool stuff. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, as you see, Jenny there is talking about banning email internally, and that would make sense. But the thing is, so I mean, that works well, so that you don't have to send emails in between one another, and that is why tools like Slack and Microsoft Teams and these kind of tools have really come about, is because people are trying to eliminate these messages and having messages all over the place and on different devices, etc. One, you want it in a central place, but two, you want to eliminate this and you want to sort of take out all the confusion, and that newsletters will never go to a Slack channel and they won't go to Microsoft Teams or anything like that. So yeah, that's very important, but then you need a functionality like they've got their ticketing system, that if a client sends an email, that email gets taken into the system, it creates a ticket, and they've got an action item on their side to deal with. So those are all kind of things that we can look at and can do, etc. I haven't spoken about, how do you keep emails in CRMs? What do you do to keep record? I mean, we didn't even get to that. For me, it's just, let's just take control back of our inboxes for now. And then from there, we can move forward and look at the next step. Cool stuff. So that's lekker. Let me just switch myself back on. I don't know why I was talking to you while showing the screen. Sorry for that. But that's it from me today, guys. Thank you very much for your time. I look forward to tomorrow's session with Johan and Marta. I'm going to talk everything about financial management. And I really appreciate you. And yeah, let me just quickly see. Arun says here, Francois, I do have rules, but sometimes the emails with rules end up in junk mail. Any reason why this happens? You need to go whitelist those emails when they do end up there. So a lot of times also things that I actually want and that is not junk goes to the junk mail folder, but then you can go into your junk mail folder and go indicate that ed is in fact not junk, and that email is, it can whitelist the email address, so that it doesn't do that in future. Bernette is saying thank you very much. And yeah, from my side, guys, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic day and that you'll be safe, and that I will see you back tomorrow for the financial management session. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and let's do this. Cheers.